Well, from graduating Harvard at age 19 to becoming a Grammy-nominated artist for his music, Ryan Leslie has built a career that spans across the entertainment industry to the marketing industry through his business SuperPhone. And now Ryan is helping thousands of people establish financial freedom in areas in wealth building and investing. Ryan Leslie is here with us now in studio at Yahoo Finance. Ryan, thanks for taking the time.
Thanks for having me, man.
Absolutely.
And we all, before we got started, man, we got stories.
Yeah.
Man.
We're all interconnected.
I love it.
We were sharing our stories. And as you know, I auditioned for your Less is More tour 10 plus years ago. And so much has changed in the music industry since then. You think about streaming, music's come a long way. Even if we take this kind of piece by piece in the music, the entertainment industry, is streaming, to start there, is that doing artists correctly? How is it showing up for the artists? Is it doing them justice from your perspective?
I think it is. I think really what we've found is that as long as you understand how the business works and you understand how to put the right people around you, if you're just going to be the creative and you can put the right people around you that understand how the new music economy works, you could do extremely well.
Let's talk about that new music economy, because you are a person that's engaged and embraced technology over the course of your career. But we've got a new technology that some in music are casting some cold water on, which is artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
And that plays into just how successful we've seen it take off within streaming even as well. What do you believe the net effect of artificial intelligence could be in the music, in the entertainment industry?
I believe it's to be seen. I think really it comes down to the way that artists, rights holders, publishers, labels want to actually either embrace it or decide as long as possible to fight it. And so once we see how that shakes out, I think we'll start to get a better picture of where we can predict where this will actually land for us in the music business.
Let's talk a little bit about your business, SuperPhone.
Yes.
You call it the Salesforce of texting. What does that mean?
Yeah, so basically SuperPhone was really born out of my own necessity. I had built several artists on social platforms, and I always felt like I was kind of just renting my audience from them, right? And anytime I would build on a platform and then a new platform would emerge, I would have to do so much work to migrate them. And so what we decided to do at SuperPhone is that the cell phone, and I got folks that I graduated with, we were just talking about it, folks I graduated with at Harvard, they still have a 617 area code because the phone number.
One of my sisters does.
Yeah, for sure. Because the phone number actually becomes a part of their identity. So in that regard, the phone number is really like our oldest social handle. The difference, though, is that SuperPhone puts a layer of technology over the phone number. So for folks that have been texting, I got 130,000 people that I'm on text with, it is only due to the fact that thanks to the team at SuperPhone, we've been able to layer technology over that messaging channel so that instead of email or Facebook or Instagram or Twitter managing my audience, I'm actually managing a much more powerful social handle by owning the cell phone number. And we provide that for businesses. Some of the largest electronics businesses in America, privately owned, are using SuperPhone. And we've also done this for artist campaigns, from Miley Cyrus to Bad Bunny to Zayn from One Direction, Bruno Mars and Lacoste. So really for us, it's about actually making sure that when you think about communication, success happens at the speed of communication, and that text message feed is the most intimate, most valuable real estate in everyone's phone.
So that 646 number listed on your Twitter, that reaches you directly?
Reaches me directly, absolutely. Same number my mother uses to reach me, absolutely. Yep.
Well, so that's one part of connecting and continuing to maintain that engagement with your fans.
Yes.
And for a lot of artists that are out there, they're trying to figure out where they can take some of that ownership back to. Even when you think about the live concert and the venue landscape, there's a lot that has really been discussed about how much the artist actually owns within that experience and how much is actually owned by a different platform. And Live Nation particularly has been one of the poster children of that fight right now because of, quite frankly, how much tickets have become, how much it's muddled with people who were just reselling, buying to resell later on and turn a profit. So how can artists make sure that in an era where there is that taking place in the market environment, that they're not damaging their own brand as well?
I think really what's most important is to make sure that in every stage of the career that you're building, especially if you're a new artist, or even if you're just building a business, could be consumer packaged goods or software, It's about actually having a direct and personal relationship with especially your earliest supporters. So for me, when I was doing shows, we talk about Live Nation, for me, in some cases, because venues have deals with Live Nation where they can only sell those tickets directly from whoever their partner is, I would actually go and buy the whole block of tickets. And then if people wanted to come to my show, they could send me a text. I'll send them a link. They'll buy it from me. And so I was the reseller, but mostly because the data and that relationship with everybody that was in the room was so critical for me. And that's the reason why even now, it's been a minute since I've released anything, and I can still go July the 8th in Cologne, Germany.
And I'll get a text message.
Yeah, you'll get a text message. July the 8th, Cologne, Germany, we're going to do an open air, 3,000 people. And so that's because in my phone, I can press that button and say, hey, everyone around the world, you haven't been to a concert in a minute. Here's where it's going down. Here's how you get the tickets. And it's incredible, the ability to have that kind of power when you have that kind of ownership.
Does AI need to be more involved in setting, say, ticket prices, for instance? Because you think about the snafus that happen with, like, Taylor Swift, with also even the cost of Beyonce tickets. When I saw some of those, I'm like, no way.
Right.
Because there's a balance in terms of how you price them and not turning off your audience. And, people just paying, some of it may run counter to your financial advice you give people, just paying their bills versus buying a ticket to a concert.
Right.
Does AI need to be more involved in that?
It's possible, but I think really at the end of the day, we all want to have the best human experience. And when we think about music and we think about that value that's given, it literally is the soundtrack of our lives. And so sometimes you might just want to go ahead and splurge in, that once in a lifetime or priceless experience. You go with your girls, you go with your family, you go and you take in that concert that, might be a little bit more expensive outside of your budget, but that's going to happen once every 3 years, once every 5 years. And so I think, penny pinching sometimes is at the expense of maybe enjoying life at the fullest. And I think, nothing's promised, so we should always, always, always live and live good, in my opinion.
Balance.
Ryan.
My sisters and I are going to come with you since we have a family
There we go.
connection now.
Come on.
Just lastly, before we let you go here, we think about what you're doing and trying to engage people and teach them how to financially plan and wealth plan for the future. We'd be remiss if we didn't ask you. I mean, we talk about investing every day, all day here.
Right.
How are you going about doing that? And how do you even approach that for yourself? Managing money, what does your portfolio look like?
Yeah. Well, I mean, listen, I was very, very fortunate early on to have mentors, and really in particular one mentor that broke down for me how important it was to have ownership in the platforms I was using every day. So very, very early on, I recognized that technology was going to transform the way that my industry was able to actually generate and be valuable. And so I was a very early investor in all of the platforms that I was using. I was on YouTube, and I couldn't be an early stage venture investor in YouTube, but when it was acquired by Google, I was a shareholder there. I was, when you think about Instagram, it's owned by Meta. I couldn't be in the early stage startup investor, but owning shares of Meta at that time. When I was looking to actually get equipment for my studio, I was buying it off of Amazon. I said, man, this is amazing. It's coming the next day. It's coming, so I wanted to be a shareholder there. And really, for the club that we have basically it's called the Wealth Plan Club. We have folks that come to me, and I think what's most striking is that very, very basic financial information, even though it only requires middle school math, is somehow missing from the curriculum in every single stage. So if all you need is middle school math to understand how to invest well, why are we not teaching it at that level? And so a lot of the folks, and it's a lifetime membership in our Wealth Plan Club, they come with whatever they have, whatever information they have. And my goal is to actually teach them how to navigate the financial markets in a way that they don't have to operate from a sense of scarcity. They can actually look and say, okay, if I know how to navigate the right way, and that's the reason why even here today, I've been able to navigate, I'm talking about front page of the New York Post, $1 million settlements, all kinds of stuff, and still being able to live at the level I want to live because I understand how financial markets work. And so that's really what Wealth Plan is all about.
Love it.
Ryan Leslie, SuperPhone founder and Grammy-nominated producer, joining us here on Yahoo Finance in studio. Thanks so much, Ryan.
Yeah, thank y'all.
Indeed,
Appreciate it.
Thank you. We appreciate you.